"You know, I believe you are right, Anne," he said at last. "We might be able to squeeze past that slab. There's just about room." "I don't know how far the iron ladder goes down though." "Oh, Dick, do let's try," said Anne. "It's our only chance of rescuing the others." "Well," said Dick, "I'll try it, but not you, Anne. I'm not going to have you falling down that well. The ladder might be broken halfway down. Anything might happen. You must stay up here and I'll see what I can do." "You will be careful, won't you?" said Anne, anxiously. "Take a rope with you, Dick, so that if you need one you won't have to climb all the way up again." "Good idea," said Dick. He went to the little stone room and got one of the ropes they had put there. He wound it round and round his waist. Then he went back to Anne. "Well, here goes," he said, in a cheerful voice. "Don't worry about me. I'll be all right." Anne was rather white. She was terribly afraid that Dick might fall right down to the bottom of the well. She watched him climb down the iron ladder to the slab of stone. He tried his best to squeeze by it, but it was very difficult. At last he managed it, and after that Anne could see him no more. But she could hear him, for he kept calling up to her. "Ladder still going strong, Anne." "I'm all right. Can you hear me?" "Yes," shouted Anne down the well, hearing her voice echo in a funny hollow manner. "Take care, Dick. I do hope the ladder goes all the way down." "I think it does," yelled back Dick. Then he gave a loud exclamation. "Blow! It's broken just here. Broken right off. Or else it ends. I'll have to use my rope." There was a silence as Dick unwound the rope from his waist. He tied it firmly to the last but one rung of the ladder, which seemed quite strong. "I'm going down the rope now," he shouted to Anne. "Don't worry. I'm all right. Here I go." Anne couldn't hear what Dick said after that, for the well shaft made his words go crooked and she couldn't make out what they were. But she was glad to hear him shouting even though she didn't know what he said. She yelled down to him too, hoping he could hear her. Dick slid down the rope, holding on to it with hands, knees and feet, glad that he was so good at gym at school. He wondered if he was anywhere near the dungeons. He seemed to have gone down a long way. He managed to get out his torch. He put it between his teeth after he had switched it on, so that he might have both hands free for the rope. The light from the torch showed him the walls of the well around him. He couldn't make out if he was above or below the dungeons. He didn't want to go right down to the bottom of the well. He decided that he must have just passed the opening into the dungeon caves. He climbed back up the rope a little way and to his delight saw that he was right. The opening onto the dungeons was just by his head. He climbed up till he was level with it and then swung himself to the side of the well where the small opening was. He managed to get hold of the bricked edge, and then tried to scramble through the opening into the dungeon. It was difficult, but luckily Dick was not very big. He managed it at last and stood up straight with a sigh of relief. He was in the dungeons. He could now follow the chalk marks to the room or cave where the ingots were, and where he felt sure that George and Julian were imprisoned. He shone his torch on the wall. Yes, there were the chalk marks. Good. He put his head into the well opening and yelled at the top of his voice. Anne! I'm in the dungeons. Watch out that the men don't come back. Then he began to follow the white chalk marks, his heart beating fast. After a while he came to the door of the storeroom. As he had expected, it was fastened so that George and Julian couldn't get out.